Good evening and welcome to OCAA Volleyball on Mohawk TV. I'm Cody Lake.
And I'm Wes Linwood.
Mohawk is facing Sheridan today, whom they've recently jumped in the standings after having really big wins against Niagara and Boreal in their last two games. Last time these teams faced off, Wes, Mohawk took a hard loss, losing 3 sets to Sheridan in October. This is a pretty big part of what led to Mohawk's real rocky start at the beginning. But now they're better on the game record than Sheridan, as Mohawk's jumped to 6-7, while Sheridan sits 5-9 on the year. And coming out of a win against Niagara, this could be a really great game for Mohawk to make a comeback.
But a win against Sheridan certainly won't come as easy, as a big asset for their team is setting up against attacks and turning them into digs, and just their defense in general, which is basically Mohawk's bane, as Mohawk just is all-out offense.
Yeah, and Mohawk loves to run and gun. They love to put the ball into the other team's court with a lot of force, a lot of pressure, and they like to come at you really quick. Where Sheridan is pretty good at getting around and stopping a lot of the attacks that they face.
Sheridan just likes to play defense and let you make your own mistakes.
And speaking of defense, who would you say is the strongest defensive asset for Sheridan?
It's definitely by far their player Liam Boucher, as he is the leading defense. Sheridan will get the first point there.
Yeah, quick start for Sheridan. They're going to need a little bit more of that.
Marcel Fang with the serve. And a nice quick little tip there by McFadden. Andrew Kong had a nice little back set for him there. And he will now serve. The dig, and that was a nice dig attempt there by Chris Dashford, but unfortunately he could not get it with the one arm.
Yeah, Dashford just couldn't get to that one, and it was almost straight at him, but just a little bit to his right side. He reached out, but couldn't get the ball up enough and went straight back. Too much power on that one.
Ricky Davids will now have the serve for Sheridan. That's a powerful spike there by Owen Keegan.
Yeah, and he had a lot of powerful spikes and kills the last time we seen these guys play.
Tons of heavy serves. Let's see if we can see that again this game.
I was about to say, I almost completely forgot about his serve, and he was the serve king. But not to start this game here, as he goes 0 for 1 as he sends that one out of bounds.
A lot smarter of a Sheridan team, so I don't think we're going to see them playing balls that are going to go out of bounds. That is a quick point by Sheridan. My mistake, that was out of bounds. That was a point for Mohawk, as Mitch McFadden will now serve. And he puts it directly into the net, unfortunately. Sheridan will pick up that point and just trying to keep the small lead here early on.
Yeah, just a 1-point lead here for Sheridan. Mohawk sticking with them so far. Good dig there. And that one rolls off the block. And it'll be a point for Sheridan as they go up by 2 now. 5-3 here to start the first set.
Chris Adams will now have the serve. A diving dig by Chris Dashford to keep it in.
Yeah, nice hustle job there.
And just a failed set there by Ricky Davids, as Marcel Fang came in and just tried to absolutely destroy it, but had not enough height as he sent it right into that net.
Yeah, and Dashford helped them with they almost had their mistake of their own, the Mountaineers did, but then they send it back over the court and allow Sheridan to make the mistake themselves. And now quickly 5-5 as Mohawk's tied this one up here early in the first.
Now Joel Van Dyke will have the serve for Mohawk. The dig. And a straight down redemption spike there by Marcel Fang to get the kill.
Yeah, last one he Last one he hit went right into the net, so that one was a little bit better of a look there.
The back set. And just a botched dig there by McFadden as he put his arms up just in quick retaliation as I came at him just a little too fast. And Sheridan's up by 2 now. And Andrew Cianci will have the serve. The dig. And a huge block there by Sheridan.
Yeah, powerful kill attempt, but straight off the team block and right back down into Mohawk territory.
And now Andrew Cianci will serve again. And a beautiful back set there for McFadden to come in for the kill. And it was a huge diving effort there by Liam Boucheret, but he was just unable to get it with the one arm.
Yeah, leads the league in kills, or leads the league in digs, sorry, but didn't dig that one out as McFadden got the best of him.
Brandon Cokeless now has the serve. And that was just a huge spike right into the hole of Mohawk. Mohawk playing not very strong defense right now. Sheridan's winning 9-6 currently. Just some easy points that they picked up there. Michael Kong will have the serve. And Sheridan will pick up that point, as that was a lift, as they're calling it.
Yeah, that was a close call there.
And now Michael Kong will serve again, not to be confused with Mohawk's Andrew Kong. A beautiful back set by Andrew Kong, perfectly for Mitch McFadden as he came in and got that blistering kill.
Yeah, and I thought that first kill for McFadden was nice, but that one was way more powerful. Same exact play almost as he jumps from backcourt and just smashes it.
He's trying to get back into his game as Rafael Leite has the serve. And just another failed block attempt. My mistake, that was a point for Mohawk.
No, that's a point for Sheridan.
Point for Sheridan, then the referee must have done the wrong hand signal because she signaled it was out. But Sheridan will pick that up just as I thought as it went off the hands of Mohawk and out of bounds. Brandon Cokeless will have the dig. Andrew Kong with a nice cross-court set there for Owen Keegan as he was able to set it just into a nice wide-open pocket. And the Sheridan defense, not too many of those so far. Andrew Kong will now serve for Mohawk. Big block by Mohawk there as Joel Van Dyke and Mitch McFadden go up.
Sheridan keeps the ball alive here as they send it back over.
A quick little tip, but Owen Keegan manages to get to that. And a tip of Mohawk's own, but that was kept alive by the Sheridan squad. Chris Dashford with a dig. And just a misfired shot by Chris Adams there as they went right out of bounds. Mohawk will pick up that point and try to stay within 2 here.
And I think he was trying to roll it off the attempt, the block attempt there by Mitch McFadden, but he kind of just missed his hands.
And that is a big point for Sheridan as they blasted it off the fingertips of Mitch McFadden and out. Ricky Davids will now have the serve. Calling out the floater as Chris Dashford makes the dig. And Owen Keegan comes in for the blast, but unfortunately can't get it over the net and then gets the 4th hit. Ricky Davids will serve once again. The dig. And a huge block there by Sheridan as Mitch McFadden went up and came down, and the ball came down with him on his side. Sheridan now up by 5 points here.
Yeah, and Sheridan's built themselves a little lead. Mohawk still hanging it in, though. They're going to have to get a little rally going if they want to come back, though. Call out the floater once again. That one rolls off the fingers of Owen Keegan.
And he gets it over the net. Big dig there. And a huge block by Owen Keegan and Mitch McFadden as they both go up and get a huge block off for Mohawk to get that point. Owen Keegan will now have the serve. Let's see if he can keep it in bounds and use his power to his advantage right now. And a big dig there by Sheridan. And that was in. That was in, as that was a powerful blast there from Matt Stokes. And now Andrew Zoth will serve. And what a nice cross-court shot there from Brandon Cokeless, that it just went off the fingertips of Liam Boucher. Mitch McFadden will now serve. The dig by Liam Boucher. A quick little tip of Mitch McFadden keeps alive. And Brandon Cokeless has another absolute blast as it goes right past Liam Boucher. That's 2 in a row that Boucher has missed.
Yeah, and that's kind of surprising from him. We kind of expected him to be a big defensive stability in the backcourt. Oh, and that's another one straight at him that kind of just hits off his chest.
That's 3 in a row Boucher has not been able to get to.
And Mohawk taking it to them now here. 15-13 as they only down by 2.
Mitch McFadden will serve once again. But unfortunately, he could not keep the ball in as that goes out of bounds. Sheridan will pick up that point. And now Chris Adams will serve for Sheridan. And they leave it and they let it go out of bounds. It just soars right over the heads of the Mohawk squad. As they'll take that easy point, keep it within 2 here. And now Joel Van Dyke will have the serve for Mohawk. Liam Boucher with the dig. And Marcel Fang manages to pick up the point as diving Owen Keegan just cannot manage to get to it in time. Andrew Cianci will have the serve. Owen Keegan with the awkward dig, but Andrew Kong manages to keep it alive and Brandon Cokeless sends it over the net. And just a misplayed tip there by Michael Kong as he sends it out of bounds. Mohawk will pick up that point, staying within 2. Now Brandon Cokeless will serve for Mohawk.
That was a good job of Andrew Kong there, just to kind of bend out of the way mid-air and make sure that one didn't hit him.
And that goes just outside the line as it goes over the heads of the Sheridan squad as they pick up that easy point. After Mohawk came back with a nice 3-4 point rally there. But now Michael Kong for Sheridan will have the serve from Hong Kong.
Yeah, lots of foreign players on the Sheridan squad. I know Keegan went up there, but got a piece of the net. And that'll force Mohawk to take a time out here, 19-15. And as we get our first time out, we're going to take a moment to look at our key players for the game. At least for Sheridan coming into this one. We touched on him a little bit before, Wes.
Liam Boucher, first, the greatest digger in the league in both digs per set and total digs, as he holds 3.44 digs per set and 189 digs this season. And is definitely the greatest weapon to use against Mohawk, as he is by far the greatest defensive asset. But so far tonight, they've been putting it to him.
Yeah, they've had some pretty good luck. He was going to come in here looking to shut down players, possibly like Brandon Cokeless and Mitch McFadden. But those players, especially Mitch McFadden, has had some early success against him. And it's kind of paying off for Mohawk. They're still down by 4. But at least they've shut down that defensive prowess of Liam Boucher.
Mohawk trying to prove that their offense is greater than Sheridan's defense right now. Michael Kong will now serve for Sheridan after that quick timeout there. Brandon Cokeless, Andrew Kong keeping it alive. And Mitch McFadden sending over the net with some authority. Brandon Cokeless sends a nice shot off the top of the net, but it gets kept alive by Sheridan. But a nice big block by Mohawk, unfortunately lands out of bounds. As Sheridan will pick up that point after that nice little rally there. And Sheridan will stay up by 5. Michael Kong serving again. Big dig by Chris Dashford there.
No, sorry. Sheridan keeps it alive.
Owen Keegan keeping that alive after it hit the net and almost dropped. And then Owen Keegan coming back to get the point as he smacked it right off the hands of the Sheridan squad. And now Mohawk will have the serve here. Alex Tripp coming on. And he will now serve. Awkward dig there. Joel Van Dyke keeps the ball alive for Mohawk. And Brandon Cokeless comes in for a mid-court spike, but he manages to pick up the kill as it just awkwardly bounces off 2 different sets of hands there. And Alex Tripp will serve again. A falling dig there by Michael Kong. And just an unfortunate bounce there as it hit Brandon Cokeless dead center in the palms and the ball just died, unable for his teammates to be able to get to it. And now Marcel Fang will serve for Sheridan. Set. And a huge shot by Brandon Cokeless, but unfortunately he is not able to get it through the hands of the Sheridan squad this time. And Marcel Fang will have the serve again. And that's a big cross-court set there by Andrew Kong as Owen Keegan was able to come in, and he actually put it off the head of the Sheridan player there. Ricky David's probably not too happy about taking that off the head there. And Andrew Kong getting the service ace there. As they were caught looking. And now Andrew Kong will serve again. Oh, and an awkward set of digs there that the Mohawk squad was not too happy about. So they thought it would have been a quadruple hit, the 4 hits there, but it still went out of bounds regardless. And that is a timeout called by Sheridan now.
Well, they were looking for a couple things there, Wes. They kind of thought that was a lift originally on a lift on one of those digs. But it didn't seem to matter as the ball went out of bounds, and as you said, forces Sheridan to take a time out.
Mohawk only down by 2, and definitely a big part of that so far is Mitch McFadden. As unfortunately, he has dropped to number 6 on the leaderboard for kills, but he's still sitting at 160 kills a season, and he is still a number 1 for kills per set with a ratio of 4.32. Remaining the Trailblazer that we all know and love. He's just played a little bit less games as he had that 1 game injury there.
Yeah, he missed 1 game, came back real soon. Obviously, that was just to keep him out as a precaution.
And it is worth noting that Niagara also had a top 5 digger on their squad, and it really didn't make a difference as Mohawk just rolled right over them.
Yeah, and Niagara, and that's it's funny that you mentioned that, Wes, because it's kind of the same matchup as you look at Mohawk, and they're the obvious offensive, stronger team offensively, and then they're facing a team that's better defensively than them. And it's more or less how you play your strategy.
And that was a nice diving dig there by Chris Dashford, but unfortunately, it went off the hand of Mitch McFadden and went under the net. Now Ricky Davids will serve. One of the very few Canadians on the Sheridan team. A nice little tip over the net there by Owen Keegan. Nice dig by Chris Dashford. A nice backcourt tip by Joel Van Dyke. And a huge block by Joel Van Dyke and Mitch McFadden as they go up and they say to the star player Liam Boucheret that you're not getting this over the net. Mohawk still staying within 2. Sheridan only 2 points away from taking this set though. As Owen Keegan will now have the serve.
And there's more of an Owen Keegan style serve.
That was a nice diving dig by Liam Boucheret, and that's the point for Sheridan as they send it just awkwardly off the hands of Mitch McFadden and out of bounds. Sheridan 1 point away from picking this up here. Let's see if Mohawk can steal this set from him.
Yeah, and the first set's going to play a big part in the momentum in the rest of this game.
Andre Zoth will now have the serve. Awkward dig by Brandon Koklas there. And that is the first set for Sheridan, as Mitch McFadden is not able to put it past him.
No luck on that one. He had a very nice kill attempt, but it just couldn't get through the hands of the strong block.
Just a very close game we definitely have here going, as it's just purely if Mohawk's trying to power through their defense and they're just trying to hold strong.
Yeah, it's going to be fire versus ice, and we're going to see who wins, fire or ice. I would say Mohawk's the fire, and I would say Sheridan's the ice in that.
Definitely.
In that scenario. So we look at Mohawk here. They don't seem too upset after that first loss. Obviously not happy with dropping that first set. But they put up a good effort, and I think if they just tweak some things, not to worry too much about their game plan, because I think their game plan was rather effective, but they just need to tweak it a little bit and fix a few things, and I think they'll end up being just all right here.
Definitely, because despite dropping that first set, they really, Liam Boucheret, which is the star digger for the team and in the league, really was not noticeable.
Well,
that first set too much.
I would say he was noticeable, but it was because,
for good reasons.
Yeah, not for good reasons at all, because he was just kind of getting pounded on. It's like Mitch McFadden was like, oh, I know who you are. I'm going to make a point, and just was bombing them. And I mean throwing, like, putting down real cannons. So we get a look at Liam Boucheret there, and coach of the Sheridan squad. Who's the coach here, Wes?
Coach of the Sheridan squad, Frank Pinto. Third-year coach.
Don't know too much on Frank, but what we do know is he and the Sheridan squad had taken the first set.
He definitely likes players that are from out of the country.
Yeah,
for
well,
sure.
obviously he's a good scout.
Let's see. We got Tavion Reed is from Southampton, England. We've got Maurizio White from Kingston, Jamaica. Michael Kong's from Hong Kong. We have Flavio Polo is from Caracas, Venezuela. And Bruno Leite is from Sao Paulo, Brazil. So they've even got somebody, Andre Zoff is from Australia. So they've got quite the assortment of people from around the world.
Yeah, more non-Canadians than Canadians.
For sure. I definitely feel like that's part of the Sheridan plan there.
Yeah, and scouting and getting players from all around the world.
To bring in talent from outside of Canada.
Yeah, and which is not, I wouldn't say it's a bad idea at all. I think it was rather smart.
Just about to get started back up here after that first set finished up. As it looks like Mohawk is going to have the first serve of this second set with Andrew Kong. Strong serve there. And a huge block there by Owen Keegan and Mitch McFadden as they pick up that first point of the set. That ever crucial first point of the set. Andrew Kong will now serve. Awkward dig there by Michael Kong. Nice dig there by Andrew Kong. Joel Van Dyke sends it across the court. And a huge block there for Joel Van Dyke and Mitch McFadden. Mohawk now leading quick 2-0 here early on.
Yeah, and they'll have to pile on a couple more points if they want to build a comfortable lead here. That one won't help, though, as they send it out of bounds.
Just sails nicely over the head of the Sheridan squad, and they just let that go. Now Ricky Davids will have the serve. And it was a nice diving attempt there to keep the ball alive. And what a nice fake there as Mohawk sends it up, and the Sheridan squad believes it's going to McFadden, but Owen Keegan comes in, just sends it right off the fingertips to pick up that point.
Yeah, and you see that try, and it's attempted quite often, but usually it doesn't usually work. That one worked to perfection that
Owen
time.
Keegan with a nice serve again. But unfortunately, the Mohawks, my mistake, that was a point for Mohawk. Nope, never mind. The referee keeps pointing to the wrong side, throwing me off here a little. Point for Sheridan, as it did go out of bounds just as I had thought. Andre Zoff will now serve. And wow, what a beautiful service ace there, as the Mohawk squad just let it go, as they thought it was going to be out of bounds, but it landed just barely inside. The dig by Chris Dashford. The big fake by McFadden sets up Joel Van Dyke to come in and send it right off the fingertips, as the Sheridan squad was not prepared for the Joel Van Dyke serve, as they expected McFadden to be the one hitting that one. And now McFadden will serve.
Yeah, and McFadden kind of acting as the safeguard here.
A one-handed dig there might not have been the smartest decision as it was going out, but they kept it alive and sent it over to the Mohawk squad. And a huge blast there by Brandon Cokeless as it goes right off the hands of Liam Boucheret. A questionable dig at the beginning of that play by Liam Boucheret as he made a one-handed dive. But Mitch McFadden will have the serve now, again. Diving dig there. And they just send it over the net. Another nice kill there by Brandon Cokeless as he just finds the hole in the Sheridan squad. Mohawk now up 6-3 here. What a quick turn of events it's been so far. Mitch McFadden will serve again. What a nice, beautiful service ace there by McFadden as he snipes it just in the back corner of the court.
Yeah, and he's going to be looking for 3 in a row here. And that one would have been an ace as well, right in the corner.
A diving dig by Andrew Kong, but unfortunately Mitch McFadden could not reach it in time. A beautiful diving effort, but just not enough on it.
No, great hustle play to get over to that ball, but he just couldn't reach his arm out quite enough.
Mohawk still up 7-4. Sheridan looking to come back here. Chris Adams with the serve. Joel Van Dyke with a nice cross-court shot. And Sheridan just sends it to the net nice and easy. Brandon Cokeless has a nice little tip, but Sheridan handles it. Sheridan tries a tip of their own, but Mohawk handles it in return. And a huge block there for Sheridan as Andrew Cianci blocks the Brandon Cokeless attack. Chris Adams with the serve. A nice cross-court kill there by Joel Van Dyke. He's really been doing he's been attempting quite a lot of those, and he's gotten the majority of them too. The cross-court shots seem to be working well for him so far.
Yeah, and whenever you find something that's working, stick to it.
Joel Van Dyke with the serve now. The dig by Liam Boucheret. And that was a quick little play there as Marcel Fang gets the kill to keep them within 2 of Mohawk.
Yeah, and he's had a couple of those where he hits it almost at a 90-degree angle, it's looking like.
They're just quick setups, and the Mohawk spot is just not prepared for them. Andrew Cianci with the serve. Wow, that was a huge blast by the Mohawk squad, but unfortunately went in bounds. Sheridan will still pick up that point. And Andrew Cianci will still have the serve. The dig. The set, and what a nice cross backcourt shot there as Liam Boucheret was trying to do a one-handed dive. He really likes those one-handed dives.
Yeah, I don't know if that's because he's confident in his ability or if he's literally just going for the desperation play on every attempt.
Brandon Cokeless had the serve, and he soars it over the head of the Sheridan team as the gap is now to 1.
Yeah, 9-8 here in the second set.
Michael Kong will now have the serve. The dig there. Nolan Keegan has a nice shot as it goes right at the hands of Michael Kong, and he can't handle it. Mohawk trying to increase the gap here. Raphael Leite will now have the serve. Point for Mohawk as that is a double hit.
Yeah, and he almost went to just change direction on that one and kind of lost his focus on the ball, maybe.
Raphael Leite with the serve once again. Awkward dig there. And a huge block by McFadden as him and Andrew Kong go up and lay down the wall
And
on
quickly,
Sheridan.
and quickly now a 4-point lead for Mohawk as they've grown this now to 12-8.
Another awkward dig gives Mohawk the point as it doesn't even get up enough for one of the players to get it. And now Sheridan calls a timeout as they quickly find themselves down 5 points here. They have to be wondering what happened after that first set.
Yeah, everything seemed to be going as to plan, especially whenever the defensive side of the game wasn't working that well, or as well as they hoped maybe. But they still came out victorious in the first set. So Sheridan is going to have to do something as you get a look at them right here in just kind of discussing. Their actual huddle isn't really that solid.
They got half the team practicing in the back still.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. Frank Pinto, obviously that's something he does. I believe the bench players are just keeping warm while the players that were on the court just take a nice little breather.
Mohawk definitely just... Sheridan was just trying to outlast Mohawk. That's realistically all they could do because they have fantastic defense, so their game plan had to have been just to try to outlast this Mohawk squad.
Yeah, throw it over the net enough times where they're going to hit it out or into the net.
And about halfway through the second set, it looks like Mohawk has just tore down the defense that they've set up. But we'll see how that goes here as Raphael Leite will have the serve after that Sheridan timeout. And a quick point there for Marcel Fang. He's been picked up a lot of quite a few of Sheridan's points so far today with those quick spikes. And he had the serve. The set by Andrew Kong and the fake. And what in awkward plays, I thought it would have been a point for Mohawk, but it went off the top of the net and then out of bounds. And another point for Sheridan, as Andrew Kong had a nice set, but unfortunately Mitch McFadden just couldn't keep it in bounds. Sheridan now only within 2 after being down 5 there at one point. Andrew Kong with a smart little tip instead of a set. Big block there by Sheridan as Owen Keegan is not able to send it through them. Ricky Davids goes up and comes down big for them. Marcel Fang with a serve. Owen Keegan with a nice blast, but it's kept alive by Chris Ashford. Sent over the net. A huge block, but it goes far into the backcourt, and Ryan Kokos keeps it alive. Smart little tip there. Another smart little tip, but it goes out of bounds, and Mohawk leaves that and watches it drop to pick up that point to keep the 2-point lead.
Yeah, Sheridan almost coming back there, making it a tie game. But Mohawk keeping that lead now. 2 points, 14-12.
Andrew Kong with the serve. A nice big block off the fingertips, but unfortunately it goes out of bounds. And that is a point for Sheridan as they're now within 1 here. Ricky Davids will now have the serve. The dig. And Mohawk keeps it alive. And they send it back over the net. And that was just a huge I want to say a huge block, but they didn't even have to do any work as they sent it right into the net. And now Brandon Kokless will have the serve.
And every single time Sheridan starts to inch
Or
towards Mohawk,
Owen Keegan, my mistake.
Mohawk gets another point.
A big dig there. And it's kept alive and sent over the net by Liam Boucher. Joel Van Dyke has a nice shot right off the fingertips, but Sheridan keeps it alive. And has a shot of their own, but it flies way out of bounds and into the bench of the Mohawk squad. Mohawk will pick up that point and go back up by 3 here against Sheridan. After Sheridan made a quick little comeback. And now Owen Keegan will serve again. What a laser over the net, but it's kept alive. And Sheridan sends back a laser of their own as they pick up that point. Off a quick little play there. Serve here by Andre Zoth. Joel Van Dyke has a huge shot, but it is kept alive. And a nice kill there by McFadden to get himself back into it after a couple missed shots. Put Mohawk up 3 now. Chris Dashford goes out and Raphael Leite will come in. And Mitch McFadden will now serve for Mohawk. That's a quick point for Sheridan as Mitch McFadden sends it over all their heads and out of bounds. Chris Adams with the serve. That was out of bounds as Joel Van Dyke could not keep it in. Mohawk now only up 1. Chris Adams will serve again. And he puts it right into the net as Mohawk will definitely take that easy point from him. And now Alex Tripp will come in for Joel Van Dyke. And Alex Tripp will have the serve. And a big dig there by Liam Boucher. And a nice quick setup as Marcel Fang will get the point again. He is their offensive juggernaut so far. He's gotten at least half their points. Andrew Cianci will now serve. A little floater over the net. And Brandon Kokless with a huge shot that just gets eaten right up by the stomachs of the Sheridan squad and hits the ground. That'll be an easy point for Mohawk. Brandon Kokless will now serve. The awkward dig there. And a quick little play there by Ricky Davids as he faked the set and just quickly threw it over the net. And Mohawk was not expecting that. And now Sheridan's only down by 1 here as Michael Kong will serve. A blistering serve, but a diving dig there by Chris Dashford keeps it alive. And Mitch McFadden sets a powerful shot and tips off the fingers of Marcel Fang for the point. Mohawk now up 2.
In the cat and mouse game is Sheridan trying to get this one tied up. Mohawk not wanting any part of that.
It's a big block for Mohawk there. And a bigger missed dig by Liam Boucher, as instead of sending it up, he sent it towards the back of the court where his team was unable to get it. Mohawk now up by 3, 4 points away from ending out this set. An awkward dig sends it right into the net as Ricky Davids couldn't get to it. And now Raphael Leite will have to serve. But before that, Sheridan will call a timeout here as they are down 4, barely 3 points away from dropping this set. Sheridan they really gotta be talking about getting their defense back on track here, as their game for them started off great. They started off solid. There wasn't really many holes. They were defending against Mohawk, but some way along the line, Mohawk just started powering through and picking apart their defense.
Yeah, and I don't think they were perfect in that first set, but they did get away with the win in the first set. So come back out here, I think that Mohawk tightened up and Sheridan didn't. And that's what's caused the result of 22-18.
It's still a very close game, as there's only 4-point difference. So Mohawk's play has just elevated. And Rafael AT with the serve. And a nice little tip there by Marcel Feng, but an even better effort by Alex Tripp to keep the ball alive. 2 diving digs by him there. But unfortunately, the second spike by Marcel Feng, Mohawk was not able to keep it alive as they get the point there after a crazy rally. And now Marcel Feng will have the serve. Easy dig there. Owen Keegan does a nice little bloop over the net, but it gets, and he keeps it alive himself. And Brayden Koklas comes in for a flying tip, but it gets sent straight down to the ground by the Sheridan squad. Sheridan closed the gap to just 2 now. Marcel Feng with the serve again. Chris Dashford diving dig. And they send it over the net. And Owen Keegan has a nice shot there, but they managed to keep it alive. And that does go off the fingertips and out of bounds off Sheridan. So that is a point for Mohawk. Mohawk up 23-20, merely 2 points away. Alex Tripp will come out and Joel Van Dyke will come in, as Andrew Kong will now serve for Mohawk. And just an awkward dig attempt there by Andre Zoff. Andrew Kong will now have the serve once again. Travis James will come in for Sheridan. And a nice serve over the net. A nice block attempt gets sent into the backcourt, but the Mohawk manages to get it back over the net. And a big block, but Mohawk ends up going off their fingertips and out. And Sheridan will pick up that point. Mohawk 1 point away from taking this set. Sheridan trying to keep themselves alive here. Ricky Davids will now have the serve. And what a nice little floater of a shot there, as the whole Mohawk squad got caught looking. Ricky Davids will serve again for Sheridan. Dig by Owen Keegan, looked a little awkward, but he kept it alive. And a nice shot by Joel Van Dyke there. And a huge block by Mitch McFadden and Owen Keegan, but Sheridan keeps the ball alive. And that is a big point for Sheridan, as a diving Brayden Koklas was not able to get to it in time. As Sheridan is now down only 1, and they are pumped.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot more motivated than they were a couple minutes ago. They thought, it looked like they were all just about out of this whenever it was 22-18. But now it's 24-23, and Sheridan's really got an opportunity.
Sheridan really tightening up their defense and showing why they have the #1 digger in the league. We're just going to go to quick replay here.
As Fang grabs this one, we got to look at Owen Keegan as well.
Some huge kills.
And then we're going to move to Brandon Koklas, who is having a really big game, but like usual on the offensive side.
It looks like he's almost choosing to target Liam Boucheret, as he sends 2 right there off of his hands twice and out. And now Ricky Davids will have the serve. The dig by Chris Ashford there. And just miscommunication off that backside by Indracong. His own Keegan wasn't able to make it there in time.
And it looks like we'll have OT here in the second set.
They do have to win by 2. Just an awkward play there by Mohawk as they seemed to not be communicating properly for that one. Sheridan up 1, and Mohawk now calling a timeout of their own here as they see themselves down 1 in this extra time here.
Yeah, and what a turnaround that is for Sheridan.
As they just go up quickly, 2 point. As they go quickly by that 1 point here, Mohawk picking up 2 quick. And just as I said before, they just really tightened up their defense here.
Yeah, they have a lot better defensive look. I wouldn't say Liam Boucheret is quite at his prime yet.
He is not.
But he has stepped it up a little bit.
A little bit.
Still a long way to go.
There's been less awkward digs overall by the Sheridan squad.
I would have to agree, and that's definitely been a big part of why they were able to come back and now are 1 point away from grabbing a 2-0 set advantage.
Just about to get back here after that quick timeout. Sheridan leading 25-24 here in extra. Ricky Davids will serve for Sheridan. Nice stick there. And a nice blast, but Sheridan keeps it alive. And a nice tip, but a diving play by Indracong to keep it alive, and Joel Van Dyke sends it over the net. A nice tip, but Joel Van Dyke keeps it alive. And a nice little back and forth here as we have an extras. Indracong keeps it alive barely. Mohawk sends it back over. And Sheridan will take that set and go up 2-0 on Mohawk. What a turn of events as Mohawk saw themselves up 4 points there, but dropped the set. Sheridan really tightened up their defense there. Marcel Fang audibly pumped after that second set win here.
Yeah, Sheridan looking to take a second straight victory over Mohawk if they can get just one more set win here.
That'll be 6-0 sets for Sheridan over Mohawk if they do that.
And if you forgot about the first set, Sheridan took that one by 4 points, 25-21. And then it was a very, very close set that actually saw Mohawk lead for most of it. But Sheridan slipped it right at the end and flipped the tables and took that one 26-24 right at the start of OT.
Mohawk training staff giving a big pep talk to the team as they've been playing a good game, but unfortunately Sheridan's out defensing them.
Yeah, and that's usually the downfall of this Mohawk Mountaineer team. Their offense usually rolls, has no issues with that. But whenever it comes to the defensive side, teams that can outmatch them and keep the ball up and in play will have good luck against them. Mohawk's gonna have to try and find some way to counteract that in the third set.
Mohawk not really using all of their size to their advantage as Bennett Candy hasn't been out there. And I definitely feel he would be helping them with their blocks.
You know what, Wes? That's a good point. I really wish that he was out there because he was a really big part of that last game that they had against Niagara.
He was huge for them against Niagara with his blocks. He had at least 5.
Yeah, and he's such a strong player, but he has a lot of skill that people don't expect from a player his size. Sheridan looking to take this one in straight sets. Mohawk trying to stay alive. We'll see who is victorious.
30 seconds here, and we'll just be getting back. Steven Stone clearly unhappy. Well, here's the thing though, like, how can you can be unhappy, but you can't really be mad because his team isn't playing bad. It's just Sheridan's team is just solid, so solid on defense that it's just creating the points.
I wouldn't give them that much credit offensively. Sheridan hasn't really...
Not offensively, but defensively.
I get that, but defense, I realize defense is technically the best offense or whatever baloney you want to throw out there.
I never said that.
But, well, I think you're basically trying to get at that, Wes, because I don't know. I don't see where Sheridan has had any, like, the defense is great, but their blocks haven't been spectacular.
Oh, no, they're blocking. It's just
I feel like Mohawk's made more mistakes, and I think that's just what it's come down to.
Oh, by far.
And here we go, Bennett Candy out there like we wanted. And he didn't have to do much, but maybe just his presence was enough to scare that one into the net.
Didn't have to block it, but he was just staring him down.
Yeah, as Mohawk grabs that one.
Now Andrew Kong will have the serve. Maybe they listened to us over the break, you know? And a huge block there by Owen Keegan. Mohawk goes up too quick again.
Yeah, and they're going to need an even faster start than last time. As they had a nice start, but couldn't finish it off.
The dig there by Andrew Kong. Owen Keegan has a big shot, but Andrew Kong makes a diving effort to try to keep it alive. Unfortunately, he can't. Ricky Davids serving for Sheridan. He's been a serving monster for them so far.
Yeah, definitely noticeable. Especially, and not just his serves, but his sets have been really crisp as well.
The dig there. And a huge shot there. But that'll be a point for Sheridan, as that is a double hit for Mohawk. All tied at 2s here. Ricky Davids serving again. The dig there by Chris Dashford. And a huge blast there by Bennett Candy as he picks up that point. Put a Mohawk up quick. Owen Keegan will now have the serve for Mohawk. That's a huge serve and a big dig by Liam Boucheray. And a quick put down as Chris Adams gets that point there. All tied at 3s. Andre Zoff will have the serve. That's a nice point pickup there for Mohawk as McFadden comes in with the blistering kill. Mohawk just showing off their power here this set so far. Everything putting them off the hands and out as Bennett Candy will now have the serve. 6'6", what a tall guy. And a miraculous effort there by Liam Boucher to keep it in. A nice little tip there by Brandon Cokless, but it unfortunately goes out of bounds. Sheridan will pick up that point, and it's all tied at 4. And Bennett Candy will go off. Chris Adams with the serve. And Mohawk just watches that soar over their heads and go out. Mitch McFadden will now have the serve.
Yeah, and they'll have to start something here. Mitch McFadden.
The dig. And a quick little tip by Marcel Fang, but they keep it alive here. And just some miscommunication by Owen Keegan and Brandon Cokless as they both get caught watching the ball, not sure who was supposed to get it.
Yeah, and you hate to put blame on anybody there, but I feel as though that one was Keegan's, and he just missed it. Andrew
Cianci with the serve. Brandon Cokless with a nice little dig there. And a one-handed dig there by Liam Boucher. But Mohawk will still pick up that point. He really likes those one-handers. Brandon Koklus will serve. Awkward little dig there. And it goes out. Mohawk will pick up that easy point and go up by 2 here. Brandon Koklus will serve again. Awkward looking dig there, but they get it. And a huge block there by Mohawk. But unfortunately it goes right back. But no, that is a point for Mohawk as the Sheridan squad jumps right into the net.
Yeah, and a break there for Mohawk as they gave Sheridan a golden opportunity to smash it down in their face.
Falling dig there. That is a quick point for Sheridan there. As it went just off the fingertips. And now Michael Kong had that serve. And he has a quick service ace there as it lands just inside the line. Michael Kong will serve again. And he puts it right into the net there as Mohawk will go back up by 2. And now Bennett Caney's going to come in for Chris Dashford. And Raphael Leite will serve. Awkward dig there. And an easy point pickup for Mohawk as the scrambling Sheridan squad just didn't really know what to do. I wasn't able to control it. The dig there. And a cross-court shot there by Sheridan to pick up the point. Put themselves within 2 here as Marcel Fang will now serve. Dig. And a quick little hard shot there by Bennett Candy, but it gets kept alive. And Mitch McFadden will come in for an absolute blast right past the hands of Michael Kong, and he just couldn't even handle that one.
No, that one was a cannon and a half out of the arm of Mitch McFadden.
And now Andrew Kong will have to serve. What a beautiful service ace there by Andrew Kong as the whole Sheridan squad got caught looking and they let it just float right in and onto the floor as Mohawk will now go up by 4.
Yeah, and they had this lead here in the second as well, 12-8. So we'll see if they can keep this one a little bit better than they did last time around.
A quick little tip, but Owen Keaton keeps it alive. Mr. Fadden goes in for the shot, but it gets sent straight down as Liam Boucher and Matt Stokes went up for the block.
Yeah, and McFadden saw the block coming, so he tried to hit it over the top or try and tip it off the tops of the fingertips.
But just couldn't get anything.
Couldn't get it. Hit it straight into the hands and back down on his side of the court.
Ricky David serving again. Owen Keegan with a nice shot off the arm of Ricky Davidson out as he makes up for that little blunder he had earlier on. And he will now serve. Let's see if he can put some powerful serves out here. What a hard shot he put, but the dig is kept alive. And just a quick little throw over the net by Sheridan. Mohawk handles it easily. Comes back and gets blocked, but goes up. Chris Ashford with the dig. And Bennett Candy with the nice little shot, but it's kept alive. A diving dig effort there by Chris Ashford, but Sheridan will pick up the point. I'm not quite sure what for, but...
Yeah, Bennett Candy was hanging on the net there just a little bit. Yeah, he knew. He called it on himself as soon as the play stopped. You could see him signal that he knew it was his fault.
That's an unfortunate call to have against you there. Brandon Koklus with the dig. Mitch McFadden with just a huge shot for the kill right through with the Sheridan squad.
Yeah, and you can see the swagger in his step after he hits a shot like that.
There's a reason why he's first in kills per set in the league. Bennett Candy will now have the serve. Awkward dig there. And a huge block by Raphael Leite and Mitch McFadden, but unfortunately they send it right past the arms of Bennett Candy as he makes the dive, but unfortunately cannot get it. And Chris Dashford will come back in. Bennett Candy will go out. Mohawk still leading by 3 here, as Chris Adams will have to serve. The dig. The cross-court set, and he just puts it over as he wasn't able to get any power behind it. And a huge block by Brandon Cokeless as he goes up and brings the ball down on the other side of the court. Up now by 4. Mitch McFadden will now have the serve.
Yeah, the Stratford, Ontario product has been a huge part.
Awkward diving dig there.
A huge part of the reason why Mohawk is even close to 500 this season.
Marcel Fang with a quick little tip. Not a whole lot of that good offense seen from Sheridan, but Marcel Fang has definitely been their bright spot. Andrew Yancey will now serve. A sliding dig there by Chris Dashford. And Brandon Cokeless unleashes a cannon from his arm to get that point. Sheridan just not even able to handle it. And he will now earn himself the serve. And the dig there. Awkward dig by McFadden, but it's kept alive and sent over by Andrew Kong. Huge blast, but unfortunately it makes it through the arms of Raphael Leite and Andrew Kong. Michael Kong will now have the serve. The dig by Chris Dashford there. And what looked like a nice cross-court shot he was not able to keep it in bounds as Mitch McFadden let loose. And Sheridan picked up that quick point. The dig by Chris Dashford. Brandon Cokeless has a nice hard shot, but it goes right through the entire Sheridan squad. Sheridan closed the gap now, only down by 1 here. Michael Kong will serve again. A routine dig by Chris Dashford. My mistake, Owen Keegan had the shot, but Brandon Cokeless ends up having the final shot and gets the point as he sends it right to the back corner of the court.
Yeah, you called that one before it happened, Wes. You already knew Cokeless was going to smash that one.
Maybe I'm psychic. Bennett Candy coming back in. Awkward dig, and it's kept alive but not sent over as the player slides and goes right in to a table and almost takes out resident arena announcer Trey Hamilton.
Yeah, that would have been a dirty spill for Trey. You almost got that table knocked right on top of him. So the hustle play for the ball ended up in that.
And Sheridan calls the timeout here as Mohawk is up 3. Looking at Steven Stone, telling this team to just keep on powering through, as their offense has been good here these last 2 sets, but it's just, I guess, just some smart playmaking, as Mohawk has had trouble so far aiming their shots. A lot of them have been going out of bounds or towards the out of bounds area, and that's where Sheridan's been catching them, because Sheridan has been smart and really hasn't been grabbing too many balls that are going out. Taking a look at Mitch McFadden right there, and then going back to the Sheridan squad. Coach trying to give his team a pep talk. We're going to do some quick replay here. As you see, Sheridan picking up some quick points off just some cross-court shots, but then we see Mitch McFadden just powering right through Michael Kong. As you see, it goes right between his legs. That's a 5-hole one right there.
Yeah, you're going to get a couple looks from McFadden here of some of the bigger points he's had in the game. There's lots to go around for McFadden. It's been a good game and what we'd expect from the best player on Mohawk.
It's a quick tip by Marcel Fang. And Mitch McFadden sends it back over. A huge block there by Joel Van Dyke. And a smart play, but an even smarter decision by Joel Van Dyke as he just watches it bloop out of bounds to pick up that point as they now go up 4 here against Sheridan. And Rafael Leite has the serve. Marcel Fang with the shot, but he goes directly into the net with the follow-through of that shot, and Mohawk will pick up that point. They go up 5 here. Hoping Mohawk, hoping they can close it out, but also hoping they don't break and give up the lead like they did last time at this point.
Yeah, and that would be heartbreaking here, especially to do it twice in a row to lose the game. They don't want to lose this lead, because if they lose this lead, then it's going to seem like the structure of this team has got some serious holes in it.
Rafael Leite with the serve. A quick tip, but Benincandy keeps it alive. And Joel Van Dyke sends it over. And a huge block by Joel Van Dyke. And Brady Cokless keeps it alive. Owen Keegan does a nice shot of zone, but that's kept alive. And just another misplay there as they touch the ball and send it right to the little out of bounds pole that they got on top of the net. Mohawk now up by 6, leading 21-15 here, looking to close it out.
Can we mark that pole down for a block?
That pole gets quite a few blocks.
Yeah, a couple per game.
And Sheridan will pick up that quick point as that is a service error for Rafael Leite, and now Chris Dashford will come back on. And so will Andrew Kong.
Yeah, Joel Van Dyke will take a seat there for a second, as Mitch McFadden can't handle that one.
Marcel Fang picks up that quick point off the serve. As McFadden just not able to handle that one. Just a misplayed dig there by Cokless. It just rolls off his fingertips, and Mohawk almost looking like they're falling apart again, just like they did. And because of that, Steven Stone will call a timeout to try to keep his boys from giving this one up here, as they still have the lead by 3 points.
Yeah, and I don't think it would be so nervous if they didn't just do it in the last set. The game was pretty similar up until this point, and Sheridan waited until both teams were in the 20s to make their big comeback. So we'll see if they do it again, or if Mohawk can prolong this game and win this 3rd set.
Sheridan squad trying to stay alive in this set. Had a little quick comeback there that caused Mohawk to call that timeout. Mohawk coming out hoping that they can just close this one out and take this 3rd set here. And now Marcel Fang will have the serve. And what a quick service ace there that was by Marcel Fang, as just the Mohawk squad got caught looking. I thought it was going to go out of bounds, but it dropped in about a foot inbounds. Yeah,
and that was between Cokless and Keegan. Not the first time that they've had issues. And Cokless kind of butt ends Keegan there and sends him to the floor, but he's back up on his feet.
And a huge dig there by Chris Dashford to keep that ball alive after a powerful shot. And Owen Keegan sends it over on an awkward angle, but they get called that point as Owen Keegan was out of bounds. In the stands. That will cause Mohawk to call another timeout here.
Yeah, back-to-back timeouts for Mohawk. 21-20 as there's only 1 point differential, and it's kind of getting to nerve time now, as a not-so-distant memory starts to haunt on them in the form of the 2nd set.
For sure. We're definitely going to see if Mohawk can weather it through here. And we'll be able to see if putting in Benincandy for that 3rd set really made a difference, because he's had some solid play since he got put in.
Yeah, and he's been kind of quiet, but I wouldn't say that's awful, because he hasn't really made any mistakes. He did hit the net once and caused him to lose a point, but he's had some nice tips. He's had some nice attempts on the team blocks, and overall, got to be happy with him.
Definitely helping Mohawk pick up points as he's a big man in front of the net. Marcel Fang with the serve. And that is a curve out of bounds by Mitch McFadden as it's all tied at 21 here now. Mohawk blowing that 4-point lead that they had. The dig. And a nice little shot there as it was cross court and Marcel Fang wasn't able to get to it. Mohawk will now go up by 1 here, 22-21. Andrew Kong will have the serve. Awkward dig there by Sheridan. And a little tip, but a diving play by Andrew Kong to keep it alive. Bennett Candy tips it over the net. A quick little tip of Mitch McFadden with a huge block. Brandon Cokeless, just some nice back and forth defensive plays here.
And this is what happens whenever neither team wants to give that point up.
A diving effort by Sheridan to keep that alive. And a huge point pickup there for Mohawk as they come in with a huge blast and it goes off the hands of the Sheridan squad and out of bounds. Mohawk now leading by 2, 23-21 here. Nice floater over the net. A big block kept alive by Brandon Cokeless. And a huge point for Mitch McFadden as he puts it right off the hands of Chris Adams and right into the floor. Mohawk taking 3 quick points there. Now up 24-23. Andrew Kong serving once again, hoping to be able to take the set. Unfortunately, that will have to wait as Sheridan having some panic after that little comeback they had as they are now down 3 points on the verge of dropping this set.
Yeah, and they don't want to give Mohawk any opportunity of coming back in this one and possibly prolonging this game into extra sets. So they're going to want to try and come back here, but it's not going to be easy as Mohawk's only just 1 point away from taking their first set of the game.
We can't count Sheridan out yet. They have been down and managed to come back and win it in extra sets during that second set. So we'll have to see if Mohawk will be able to hold strong here and keep their offense running. Team's coming back out. Andrew Kong will have the serve. Mohawk looking to end this set here. A quick little tip, and Mohawk will pick up that set win right there. It's just a pure mistake by Sheridan as Andre Zoth went for a tip but sent it right into the net.
And we're going to have to say goodbye to Wes Linwood for just a moment, as we're going to have a one-on-one interview with me and one of my favorite players here on the Mohawk Mountaineers, Elijah Lopez. That's coming up in just about 30 seconds. And here we are, Cody Lake alongside Elijah Lopez. And Elijah, I noticed that you guys seem to be an upbeat team, but I don't know what's going on in the back room there. What's the atmosphere like in the locker room?
We have our goofy moments up until we have our coaches talk just before the game. We goof around, we try to make a few jokes. It's pretty light in there until we get pretty serious. We have our talk, we get fired up right in there, and then we're right in the game. Yeah, we want to be very serious. We're taking the game seriously. We're having fun. We love the sport, right?
Yeah, of course, of course. Obviously, you're still out. Do you have a timeline for your return?
I'm hoping a couple weeks, could be sooner. It feels better every day, so we're taking it one day at a time.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that, and I hope you come back soon. The team needs you, and, well...
I hope so. They're doing well.
They're doing well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And welcome back here.
I have returned.
Wes has returned. He's back for a moment, or he's gone for a moment. Now he's back, and we're back as well as we try it. As Mohawk tries to pull this one out of the bag here. They took the last set 25-21 after falling in the first two. We'll see if they can finish the comeback here as we begin the fourth set. With that, Andrew Kong will take the first serve.
That's a big point for Sheridan as they get the first one of this fourth set here. Marcel Fang will now have the serve. The dig there. That is a point for Sheridan, although it looks like it would have been a point for Mohawk. It hit the little out of bounds pole, but on the outside. A quick little tip and a nice one-handed dig there by Chris Dashford to keep it alive. And a hard cross-court shot by Sheridan, but it goes out of bounds. Mohawk will pick up their first point of this set. Owen Keegan with the serve. A nice hard serve, but unfortunately goes out of bounds. Sheridan will pick up that easy point there off that service error.
Yeah, Mohawk's going to want to keep the mistakes to a minimum here as it's getting into clutch time, you could call it.
Huge point there for Brandon Coquelis after it hits the top of the net twice and then hits the ground. Bennett Candy will now have the serve.
Big call for the floater there.
Huge block there by Raphael Leite. Sheridan just not able to get that after a huge block. Bennett Candy will serve again. And another huge block by Raphael Leite. That's 2 in a row now.
Yeah, and the blocking game certainly working for him now.
Mohawk, maybe they listened to me about putting their tallest guys out there to block.
Yeah, possibly.
So far, it's working out for him.
Well, it's a known tactic that you're going to want to get the leg up on those matchups and try and win the size advantage. Mohawk wasn't really focused on that at first, but now they are. Mitch McFadden goes for the dig, but he puts that one out of bounds.
Three consecutive awkward digs, 2 by Sheridan, and they were able to get it over, but unfortunately Mohawk was not. It's all tied at 4 here, and Andre Zoth will have the serve. The awkward dig there by Chris Dashford keeps it alive. And Mitch McFadden sends it off the net, but they still keep it alive. And that is another point for Sheridan, as Mohawk thought that went off their hands and out, but unfortunately it did not, as it went right into the net. Sheridan will pick up that point and the lead, 5-4 here now.
Yeah, and Mitch McFadden's continuing to shake his head about that call, but little does he know, it was the right call.
Nice dig there by Owen Keegan. And a huge shot there by Brandon Coquelis as we almost get run over at the table here.
Yeah, I thought we might for a second there. I was looking up, trying to see if that ball was going to land right on us.
Flipping the table on us over here. Mitch McFadden will now have the serve. The dig there by Liam Boucheret. A diving dig by Chris Dashford, but they can't keep it alive. Liam Boucheret playing a little better, but still not much to talk about for him.
I'd say surprisingly, on defense, the third set was his best. That's why I noticed him the most on having some really nice desperation digs.
And a powerful shot there by Marcel Fang goes out of bounds, and Mohawk will pick up that point as it's all even at 6s here.
And here comes Boucheret back on. Speaking of him, I think mostly he's the best defensively whenever he is in desperation mode, because he's trying to force all these one-handed digs, and they don't really work whenever the ball isn't needing you to be doing that one-handed diving dig.
No, unless you can't reach it without that desperation move, then there's no really need for it. But it seems like that's his go-to thing.
It's his go-to thing, and he uses both arms. Doesn't matter if it comes to the left side or the right side. He'll throw it down, but wasn't that effective early on.
A nice shot there by O'Keegan, but it's blocked and kept alive.
Gets a second chance, but
They get it over that time. Big block by Mitch McFadden as it goes back over the net. A nice tip. And unfortunately, Chris Dashford could not make it there in time as Marcel Fang has a nice little tip. Sheridan up by 8 now. Sorry, up to 8 now, up by 2. Andrew Cianci. A nice little tip there by Rafael Leite, but it gets blocked and thrown right back down by Marcel Fang. Now up by 3. Andrew Cianci will have the serve again. The dig there by Chris Dashford. A running desperation dig there by Liam Boucheret to keep the ball alive as they send it back over to Mohawk, but he can't handle it as they put him directly on his back after that spike there. What power. And now Rafael Leite will have the serve. A diving dig there. And the Sheridan squad sends that right out of bounds as Mohawk makes a nice little 2-point comeback here and only seats themselves down 1. Huge block by Bennett Candy.
and a big celly after as he throws his hands. A little double pump, I guess you could call that. Is he?
Big man doing what he needs to do in front of the net.
And that's not what they needed, though.
No, unfortunately, Rafael Leite will send it into the net off that serve. Sheridan still up by 1 here. Michael Kong will now have the serve. The dig. The back set. And a nice little tip over the net, but it's kept alive by Sheridan. And Sheridan will have a tip of their own, and Mohawk will keep that alive in return. A quick tip, but a diving effort by Chris Dashford to keep the ball alive. And that's a quick point for Mohawk as Sheridan sends the ball over his head. The Sheridan coaches extremely unhappy. Saying one of the linesmen called a touch. We're going to have to see what this call is actually here.
Yeah, and a good pickup there. And that was an assistant coach
and the point
on the Sheridan bench that pointed that one out and got that one looked at. And yeah, it worked out pretty well.
The points awarded to Sheridan as there was indeed a tip off the fingers as that went out. Only the lineman at the back of the court caught that as no one else was able to. Michael Kong will serve again. Diving effort there by Chris Dashford, but he can't keep it in, unfortunately. Michael Kong will have his 3rd service in a row. Sheridan now sees themselves up 3. What a back and forth battle we have going here. Huge shot off the top of the net. A nice dig by Brandon Cokeless there. And a nice shot by Mitch McFadden right off the arms of Michael Kong, and he wasn't able to handle his Mohawk, getting a quick point back here. Trying to get themselves back in this game. Andrew Kong will have the serve for Mohawk now. Awkward dig by Liam Boucheret. Almost hits me.
Yeah, that one was kind of close to the old dome there, wasn't it, Wes?
A little bit, a little too close to the old noodle for my liking, but I don't really got much anywhere to go.
Yeah.
Boucheret keeping the ball alive. Brandon Cokeless doing the same for Mohawk. As he has a nice little tip, but Sheridan handles that. And Marcel Fang going back to him with his signature quick sets. I think the reason why he's been able to get so many points is he's not even letting the ball reach max height. He's hitting it the second it goes over the net. And Mohawk just isn't prepared to deal with that. There's multiple diving efforts there to try to keep the ball alive after a big block from Sheridan, but unfortunately they pick up the point. Sheridan's still up 3 here. Marcel Fang will now have to serve. The tip by McFadden, but it gets blocked. McFadden will send it through, but he sends it off the arms of Marcel Fang, and he can't handle it. Mohawk still down by 2 here, though, as Owen Keegan will now pick up the serve.
And Boucheray comes back on for Sheridan.
A nice little floater. You don't usually see that from Owen Keegan. And a huge block from Bennett Candy. And in return, they send that ball out, and Mohawk will pick up that point. They're only down 1 now. Owen Keegan will serve again. Puts a little more power on that one. Just an awkward play there as Sheridan got Mohawk to fall for the fake as they both went up, and as they came down, it ended up going off the head of Bennett Candy by the looks of it. And they weren't able to keep it alive. Sheridan up 2 now as Ricky Davids will have the serve.
And they're going to have to do a quick little wipeout here after Bennett Candy rolled around on the ground. Big man, probably pretty sweaty.
Now Ricky Davids will serve. The awkward dig by Owen Keegan. And Mitch McFadden gets some power into it, but sends it out and over the Sheridan squad head. And Sheridan now up 3 points here on Mohawk. As Ricky Davids will serve again. 3 in a row now. Awkward diving dig there by Chris Dashford, but he sends it too low, as that's another point for Sheridan. As Sheridan's getting themselves a little bit of a lead here.
Yeah, just a 4-point lead, but still a lead.
Ricky Davids seeing if he can go 4 for 4 here. And a nice point pick up there for Mohawks. Brandon Kokla sends a nice shot right off the hands of the Sheridan squad and out of bounds, so they'll pick up that point here. Keep themselves within 3. Bennett Candy will come out, and Alex Tripp will come in. Alex Tripp will now serve as well. A quick little tip. And that ends up being a point for Mohawk as it's a double hit against Sheridan. Coach of the Sheridan team thinking that Mohawk touched the net, but to no avail is his complaining. Alex Tripp with the serve and the diving dig there. Alex Tripp in return trying to have a one-handed dig of his own, but unfortunately could not keep it up.
And Liam Boucheray doing this kind of weird move I've never really seen before. He's fallen on the ground multiple times backwards, but all he's doing is turning a dig into a volley by falling back and like angling his volley up instead of digging the ball.
That is a nice quick point pick up there for Mohawk as they get a nice shot just inside the back corner. Hitting the old linesman as he's just trying to hang out there, do his job. Mitch McFadden will have the serve now, but unfortunately he sends it soaring over the head of Sheridan. Sheridan will remain up by 3 points here. Chris Adams will now serve. And a nice shot there by Owen Keegan. And an awkward dig as it goes right back over the net. And a beautiful little tip there by Mitch McFadden as he sends it right to the net, but gets the nice little bounce as it just barely flips over. Mohawk within 4.
Yeah, but that's not going to be...
Trying not to let Sheridan run away with it.
Yeah, he did step over the line there. And now Stephen Stone has given Captain Mitch McFadden a little message to explain to the referee what happened. And just relaying the message here because the coach cannot talk to the referee. Stephen Stone, quoting Stephen Stone, that was a terrible call. And there goes the yellow card. And Stephen Stone obviously done with that.
Not very happy. Questionable call there. Did it look like he was over the line?
I honestly can't say because I didn't see it firsthand, and I don't want to.
I couldn't see it myself, that's why. And just an awkward dig attempt there by Rafael Leite. Unfortunately, he was not able to get as it goes out of bounds. Sheridan up 5 points here on Mohawk. 4 to clear it out. Huge block there by Sheridan. Another dig by Sheridan, too. Sheridan keeping the ball alive here as Mohawk's pressing on hard. And the third time's the charm as Brandon Colquist managed to send a nice hard shot off the hands of Marcel Fang and down. Mohawk only down 4 now, still trying to keep themselves alive here in this fourth set. In this third set, no, fourth set. I need to make up my mind, I guess.
We haven't seen a whole lot of fourth sets so far since coming on to the OCAA and Mohawk TV.
No, not really.
It's usually been Mohawk downing their opponent in 3 or them being downed in 3. So a little bit longer of a game here tonight, but Mohawk's going to have to pull off a little bit of a miracle if they want to have a chance to complete the comeback as they've fallen down by 5 here, and Sheridan's just down, only needs 3 more points to finish off this Mohawk Mountaineer team. And that's one of them. Make it 2 points now. Sheridan moves up to 23, and that will force a timeout by Stephen Stone and the Mohawk Mountaineers.
Stephen Stone's still very unimpressed with that last call, as neither of us could see to make our own judgment, but the call was called with Mitch McFadden having his foot on the line.
Yeah, and I just can't say anything because I didn't see it well enough.
You could almost say that was a small turn of momentum there, as Mohawk was getting some momentum and coming back, and they're only down 1 at that point. And now they're down 6 points. And we're going to go to a replay here.
And we're going to take a look at the relays here. Is Brandon Colquist. We're going to get a look at this monster.
Putting Liam Boucheret, the star digger, right on his back.
And then on the other side of the court, we're going to get a look at a couple real nice plays by the Sheridan squad, and for one of the big reasons why they're up in this game.
Huge block there by Bennett Candy.
That was the one that you were impressed with. I remember you being very excited, and I'm happy that he's been out in this fourth set.
Well, really felt the first 2 sets like Mohawk's blocking needed some help there.
Yeah, and when you add a guy like Bennett Candy and then you can get Mitch McFadden up there and the team blocks with him, that's a powerful duo.
Flavio Polo just had the serve there for Sheridan. And now a diving dig attempt by Liam Boucheret, and you just can't handle that one. Mohawk will pick up the point. Still down 5, though, as Sheridan's 2 points away from closing this one out. Rafael Leite will serve now. And just a missed guided dig there by Brandon Colquist as he just was not able to keep it in. And now Chris Dashford will come in. Michael Kong will now serve. Mitch McFadden with a nice blast, but it hits the top of the net. A diving dig by Flavio Polo will keep the ball alive. And Sheridan will pick up that point and go within 1 of winning this set, and winning this game.
Mohawk grabbed that last point as it was out of bounds.
My mistake then.
Yeah, if they would have grabbed that point, they would have already had the win. Still game point, obviously, for Sheridan.
And that is a quick point for Mohawk, trying to stay alive here as that tipped off the fingertips of the Sheridan squad.
And they need 4 points here to extend this game at all. 4 points in a row. Let's see if Andrew Kong can deliver it with the serve.
The dig there by Chris Ashford.
And a weird bump set there.
And a nice shot by Owen Keegan as it tips off the fingers of Marcel Fang and goes out. Mohawk trying to stay alive here. Andrew Kong will now serve. And a huge block by Owen Keegan, by Mitch McFadden and Bennett Candy there. And a timeout is called by Sheridan now as Mohawk made a nice 3-4 point comeback there and only sees themselves down by 2. But Sheridan still at match point.
Yeah, and they're going to try and cool off Andrew Kong with the serves and possibly just try and slow things down here for a moment as they need this one. If they allow Mohawk to come back here and possibly even grab this set, Mohawk would have tremendous motivation going into the, and momentum going into the last set. So I can see Mohawk needs this. If Mohawk gets this, then
That'd be huge for Mohawk. That'd be a huge momentum changer for this game.
And if they don't, then obviously
game over.
Game over.
Team's coming back out here after that quick timeout. We are sitting at match point. Sheridan 24 to Mohawk 22. Let's see if Mohawk can keep themselves alive here as Andrew Kong will serve after that quick timeout. Huge block there by Mitch McFadden, but Sheridan keeps alive.
And Mitch McFadden takes
another huge block by McFadden.
Mitch McFadden took the time to point down and say that the Sheridan player was on the line, and he will continue to ask and complain about it. But I don't think that that's going to happen, as that will be game point.
That's game over. Steven Stone and Mitch McFadden very unimpressed by 2 questionable calls here this game.
And you never want to sit there and say that the refs affected the game. And I would like to think that they didn't, that those 2 calls they got right.
Stone just picks up a red card after the end of the game there.
Yeah, kind of useless at that. The game's over.
At the end, game's over is more just to make the ref feel good about herself, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. And a great try here for Mohawk tonight, but they just fall short, losing this one 3-1.
Solid attempt. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to get it together to beat Sheridan today.
Yep. They'll have another opportunity Saturday, February 3rd, whenever they go against Redeemer. But for just a moment, we're going to take a look at some highlights and see what Mohawk did right and what Mohawk did wrong, and how we got to that final score. And now so you can see Brandon Cokless, one of the better players in that game. And a couple really nice plays there for Michael Kong, as the Hong Kong native was a really big part, especially with his serves. And you can see the final line score there for Mohawk versus Sheridan, as Mohawk took the 3rd set, but that was all they could grab here tonight. However, make sure to tune in on this Friday at 7 p.m. to watch Mohawk women's team take on this exact same Sheridan squad. Well, not the exact same one, the female version, as the Mountaineers will take on the Bruins. And then, like I said just before, Saturday, February 3rd, so right after Friday, you'll have Redeemer facing the women's and the men's in a full afternoon game. For West Linwood, I'm Cody Lake, and this has been OCAA Volleyball on Mohawk TV.